Jehovah's Witnesses, how you doing? Did you know, this is also going out to the Jehovah's Witnesses, I know some of you watch. Occasionally you creep through and make a little comment and then you scurry off because you're scared. You can stay, I'm okay. Did you know that the stuff you hear at the assembly is not true? Did you? I didn't know this until not so long ago. I thought all those stories were true. I really did. But apparently a lot of them were fabricated and a lot of them were embellished. So I'm going to read you some of the details. Okay. This comes from one of the forums which I frequent, and it's about embellished experiences at the assembly. When reading Watchtower and Awake experiences, yearbook accounts, or listening to testimonials during assemblies, how many of you recognise that the stories you were told were either false or grossly exaggerated? No, I'll put that hand down. Perhaps you knew the person relating the experience and you said to yourself, that's not how it happened. Okay, let's find out. Somebody said, I was still pretty active when one day at a job I found a magazine from another religion. I looked through it and realised it was full of exactly the same subjective experiences that you read in the Awake or heard from the platform or assemblies. All of those experiences that proved how special we Jehovah's Witnesses were actually happened in all religions and people who have no religion. And that was an eye-opener. That's so true. And I think the important word is subjective. Okay? It can mean a lot to you. If you did go to knock at the door and found out that the guy was a psychopathic serial killer and the police said, oh, he saw two angels behind your back. Well, to you, that's a story. Granted. But to him, he's a psychopath who's mentally deranged. We can't rely on his story as the God's honest truth. Okay? Has to be actually some basis for it. And the Jehovah's Witnesses will tell you the awesome stories about how I gave a witness in my school or my workplace or at the hospital. But they're only your story and we need more evidence, guys. Okay. Oh, dear me. I never doubted these stories until I had to relate my Bethel tour experience. I only related the good and didn't mention one thing that had greatly bothered me. I so wanted to say it, but I didn't want to stumble anyone. I always wondered then who else did the same thing. Yeah, you see, that's a good point. She doesn't tell you what the experience was. I'd love to know. I believed them all until my best friend was interviewed in the circuit assembly and embellished his experience. When I pointed out he replied that the important thing was to encourage the brothers. I guess being truthful did not matter. That's true. Here's somebody written, wow, I begin to think I was the most gullible person around. You weren't. I join you. Hands up. We were a badass cult and so believed in hook, line and sinker. We were a badass cult. Those Scientologists, they're only new boys. My mom told me 2 weeks ago that at her convention, while we were out west visiting her, a sister from another part of the circuit related a story about her daughter who had pioneered, married a Brooklyn Bethelite, left her husband and the truth, and became a sorceress of Satan. Where do you get those? I don't see those in the job adverts. Wanted, sorceress for Satan. My mum said everyone was appalled. It turns out this sorceress is just one of my best friends, and is hardly a sorceress of Satan. She teaches Reiki massage. I have no time for Reiki massage. However, I'm pretty sure it is neither satanic nor requires you to be a sorceress to do it. Circuit and district assembly experiences are carefully scripted, edited, and rehearsed, so there's no chance that the audience will hear the entire backstory, which would include behaviour which is not in harmony with Watchtower teachings. There is a good example of how the circuit overseer in one case demanded that a sister suppress the fact that she attended college so that the audience would not get the impression that it was acceptable to attend higher learning. Excellent point. My friend went to the rehearsal and he stopped her after... Oh, my friend went to the rehearsal and the circuit overseer stopped her after she mentioned college. Yes, this is the same story. The CEO asked her not to mention that she had... the CEO asked her to mention that she wished she had not gone to college and would not if she had to do so again. He even tried to change her mind, but she disagreed with him. She stood her ground. She was glad she went to college. It enabled her to get a good paying job. And this allows her to support her mom. Her dad died a few years ago from cancer. They compromised. She was told she could not mention her university degrees because they could not have other ones thinking it was encouraged or approved. God forbid you get an education. Another time they interviewed a brother and his study that were getting baptized that very day. They even did a few reenactments on their initial call, return visit, and first time in the ministry. I was sitting in the audience scratching my head because I knew him personally, and it was a sister that met and studied with him. Sadly, when she showed up at the rehearsal, the circuit overseer immediately stepped in. He said, no way could they show a sister studied with a man, so he asked two brothers to step in and relate the experience as their own. He lied. Because women are not regarded, you're not respected, you're not important. So piss off, sisters. Get to the back of the queue. Another time they interviewed a brother. Oh, dear me. Another time, a fellow pioneer was rehearsing his experience about pioneering and about how having a good schedule helped him, especially since he worked full-time at night. They would not allow him to mention that he worked full-time at nights and that he often went in service right after getting out of work. They didn't look good, apparently. Lastly, a CO called me up a few days before an assembly. He forgot to get someone to relate a specific experience and asked me. But since I had no experience, I told him. I said no. He kept hounding me. I'm sure you have. Just think it over, he said. Okay. You could say it just happened, as I am sure it did, but you just don't remember. I kindly refused and suggested someone else. Dear, that is so disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Honestly, isn't it funny that these parts are like perfect TV show? They're like the Brady Bunch. They appear to be perfect family, and then when you learn that the mom and the oldest stepson are having an affair in real life and the dad is actually gay, the elder can't find the perfect people from within the organisation to do their demonstration, so they twist things and outright lie to make it appear the way they want it to be. That is so true. Perhaps that's why they're going the cartoon route now. Because you can make a cartoon family anything you want. They can either be the Griffins from Family Guy, or they can be anybody great. They can be a wonderful family too. And this is the story that they want you to believe. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you're a Jehovah's Witness watching, if you've just been to the assembly, remember, it's all made up, guys. It didn't happen like that. Thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Bye-bye.